is up, everyone? Today there's a Craftsman 2600 PSI, 2.5 gallons per minute, 7 horsepower pressure washer. I'm told it runs. The problem though isn't the engine, but that's what they always say. Apparently, in order to have a pressure washer, there needs to be a pump. I might not be an expert on them, but the consensus say that that is required. So, I just happen, let me grab it, to have purchased a new pump. So, I want to try the engine out, install the pump, and see if this is a good working candidate. It does have a wand and a hose at the very least. I think I paid like $20 for it. Yeah. The wand. The wand's kind of nasty. I could put a new end on it. Let me show you. These auto adjusting ones I'm not too much of a fan of. But let's go ahead and put you in your little area. We'll start putting the pump on and go from there. I guess technically we should probably make sure the engine works. Actually smells good. That's not evil. It's weird, it has like 2 different levels. Let's just start over. It's a tad low. This. There we go. But it should be enough to at least run for a moment. So it has gas that's on. Let's see if it runs. It's not going to be a problem. It has a cast flywheel, so it can run without having a pump on there. If this is like a lawnmower engine though, you don't want to do it without the blade because it can snap back on you. It needs the momentum of the blade to take it through its cycles. Let's see what I think. Does this have a choke? No, okay. That's off. It's on. Oh, it does have a choke. Never mind. That's what this is. Maybe that's a choke. There it is. I do think, however, it's running a little bit too fast. Let me get some tape and we will put some on the crankshaft and do a test. So it kind of dawned on me that the RPMs might be low just because there's no load on it. So I don't think I'm going to be doing a test on it quite yet, but I do want to go over, this is to kind of help assist it going on, the pump. And there is a 7/8 inch pump. I need to figure out the diameter of your shaft. I use a, you could take like a not screwdriver, a tape measure, caliper, I prefer that one. But you also, once you do that, you need to know this important piece. It's upside down, but that says 7 horsepower. Now, you need to know that because of this. A pump will have the specifics that you need for horsepower minimums, or rated for. This one is rated for 6.5 to 7 horsepower. It's a 3200 PSI pump. You don't want to put too large of a pump on the motor, otherwise it'll be a dog, like it just won't run right at all. And when I say you need to figure out the horsepower, I mean true horsepower. When sometimes they have like 7.25, 7 foot-pounds of torque, that is not the same. You need to have horsepower. If it only says pounds of torque, follow this calculation. You have to multiply the torque amount. In fact, let's just do this right now. I'll get my calculator out. Hopefully it's easy enough to see, but let's say it says 7 foot-pounds of torque. You have 7. You're running this at 3,600 RPMs. Sometimes lower. Look at the reading for your pump. I think this one actually says 35 times 3,500. Obviously that number is not horsepower, but you have to divide this by 5252. So that 7 foot-pound torque is actually 4.66 or 4.67 if you round horsepower. Not quite the same. So you need to make sure what you're getting, because if this said foot-pounds of torque, this pump would not be enough, or this pump would be too big for it. It would be minimum, probably maximum you're looking at 2,500 PSI probably, maybe more. Depends on a lot of things, but you're probably looking at a good 2 gallons per minute, 2,500 PSI for something like that. So I want to go over that. I'm going to tip it over. We'll install it. I think this one had a different style on there, but they're all more or less the same. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and be right back. So this is the bolt. Now, I'm pretty sure these were the original mounting positions, because some of them will have a small square instead of this tripod scenario. So we have to figure out, is that amount of space going to be adequate for the bolts that are currently in there? And right now we have maybe a 1/4 of an inch deficit, but I don't think that should be too much of a problem. But what will happen is you can't just take one off at a time and put one in. You have to take all 3, so the motor is going to fall. So I'm going to put a strap on this. Even the strap is going to be hard. I'll have to put a block of wood or something underneath it, kind of prop it up so you can put it on. Something else you should do, because this came out, is check to see if it will even fit, and it will not. So I don't really want to drill this out because it's not that thick right there. I don't really want to give it like a weak area, especially where it mounts. So I'm going to try to find 3 bolt with corresponding nuts, and see if we can find those and just have a, maybe just put the bolt in from the top or the bottom. I'm not quite really sure yet, but we'll take a look. So a long time ago, by the way, if you ever need to take out a flywheel key or the key for the pump, because I want to clean it up a little bit, these pliers are perfect for it. Parallel pliers. Anyway, I guess I didn't really need to. There's already one in here. I think it might be too long though. It's pretty long. Anyway, so a couple months ago I replaced the pump and came with the hardware. So I'm hoping that pump hardware, ooh, so far so good. This is obviously going to be smaller diameter than the motor. So the motor is probably, there's some threading here, but the motor probably wouldn't start until like right about there. So that's fine. Does it have the matching washer and nut? Perfect. I mean, I would hope this would be right, but because it came together, but uh-oh. Wishful thinking, let's just tear it all out. Comes with a lock washer, that's good. And lock nuts. Yeah, it's because it's rubbing the plastic. Okay, okay. I think we found ours. We have 1, 2, and 3. And then 1, 2, and 3 of these. Put the rest of this. Do I need to put the washers? Lock washers on? Nah. These are already lock nuts. It should be fine. So, something I want to do is put this anti-seize on the shaft. Not a lot, but it will just kind of make it easier to put on and make it so if anyone ever needs to take it off, these have a tendency of rusting. So, line up the key. Easier said than done. This is a horrible angle. Come on. Get on. Okay, finally on. So, let's take out the 2 remaining. I'm hoping that this is a pretty snug fit that's going to help hold the engine in, just in case I put something behind it. Oddly enough, 14 millimeters. Not sure why, but now the plug is disconnected, so you can spin it with little to no risk, and boom. It's so much easier. Uh-oh, maybe spoke too soon. I think, oh, I have it on wrong. That's why. Well, let's spin it to the right way. What am I hitting? Oh no. That. You take it off a little bit and we'll spin it around the right way. That should be good to go now. I did put another screw in there so the engine was kind of putting it at an awkward angle when it was breaking on the legs. Or bolt. now should be good. You always want the inlet and outlet facing the back anyway. I don't think there's like a rule for that, but I do think it's just more convenient. That one goes in just fine. Where's the other one? Where is the other bolt? Where did... Oh, it's right here. Okay, perfect. So, I'm going to put these on the front, or the top, and be right back. I don't know if you can tell, but this is that bolt. I actually had to get a different one, so you can see the color is different. But it wasn't long enough. You probably can't see this very well, but yeah, for whatever reason, this side's super long. But it's flush, should be fine. And here we have it. It's nice and secure. Has anti-seize on it. I think the only other thing you really need to do is take off this shipping plastic cap. This is a very interesting pump. They're usually not like this. Usually there's not, I don't know, just different. Probably not a bad thing though, maybe just a newer model. But everything looks to be good. Let us connect the hose. Now, when you connect the hose, especially on a pressure washer you haven't used in a long time, to make sure that the hose isn't dirty or anything inside of it, and if it's a pump you haven't used in a long time too, you should be doing this. Take off the tip, run the water with no tip on until, if it's a little red, keep running until it's completely clean. If it's clear, just still let it run for like 10 seconds or so. Then put the tip on, let it run again, and let it run for a good 30 seconds, just to fill everything in the pump. You don't want any air bubbles, especially when it's brand new. You don't want to start it off like that. So let's go ahead and connect the spark plug, put it outside, and we'll do a little test. Okay, it's all drained out, so let's go ahead and give it a pull. Let it run for about a minute or so. Plug the plug in. It might smoke because it's been on its side. That's pretty normal. Let's go ahead and give it a run. Okay, well, looks like it's pretty good, so I'm just gonna check that. I'm gonna put a little more oil in it, or probably replace the whole thing, and that should be about it. I think the pump was about $65, give or take. I'll put a link in the description below, but it's pretty good. nasty wand though. I might have to change it, but I don't know. I might have an extra tip somewhere that I can throw on there, and maybe some extra, or not tip, the adapter for the tips. But yeah, if you like what you see, keep on watching. Definitely subscribe. I will see everyone later. If you like the video, then definitely put a thumbs up as well. Have a good night.